my name is Gabriela. I'm from France and I live in Russia for already 3 years. So I came here a little bit randomly. I started to learn about Russia maybe 5 years ago or something like this. I have no family in Russia. Everybody refuses to believe me here. They all think that I'm Russian. They even ask me my passport to prove to them that no, I'm not Russian, I'm French. I don't know why I have a Russian face. I didn't do anything about it. I checked my ancestry and I'm not Russian, at all. So yeah, I came here because I just fell in love with the country, with St. Petersburg. I really love the language. The alphabet is something that really interested me at first. It was very mysterious. So I decided that since I managed to learn the alphabet after a few days, I could probably learn the Russian language after a few months. I don't know, I was very ambitious. I still don't know it so well. So it took a little bit more time, but I started when I was in France as a student. I started to learn Russian by listening to books. And then I finally found a job in Russia after a few years. And I started my blogging channel, which is a completely random decision because I didn't know anything about blogging. It was not my ambition to become a blogger. I'm basically an engineer in biotechnology at first. Yeah, so it's completely different thing. So I came here to work at Skokova in Skolte. So it's an engineering company, or it's university also. And I worked there for 3 years. Unfortunately, I worked there in English, so I didn't improve my Russian much, but it's on the way. And yeah, I started my YouTube channel by basically showing how Russian lives. Because in France, we imagine that here is a little bit of a gulag or something sometimes. When I go back to France, they don't really know anything about Russia. And they feel really scared. They feel that we cannot really say anything in Russia because if it's a little bit politically, I don't know, incorrect, we're going to be sent to, I don't know, prison camps. So it was my mission, basically, at first, to show the French how the Russian lives and what is life in Russia in reality. Then I understood that a lot of my audience is also Russian and that they are very interested in listening to me because they don't even know how good their life is maybe in Russia, and they imagine that it's much better in the West. So it became also part of my mission just to show Russia to the Russians, to tell them that we love their country and it's great living here, basically. So yeah, that became my mission. I don't know what can I say.
So those are some questions. So what actually made you, first of all, decide to do a blog? I mean, you had these thoughts, but what actually made you pick up a camera and where did you start?
Well, it was also a personal challenge because I'm not very good at speaking in front of people.
Very well.
Yeah, so I thought it would be a good training to do it, but actually it's a very different exercise to be alone in front of a camera or to be in front of a good amount of people. So yeah, it was just to learn how to express myself in front of people and just to share my experience in Russia. I had traveled a lot before that. During my studies, I lived a little bit in Quebec City, then I lived in Germany a little bit, in Sweden, whereas in Wrocław, in Poland. And I decided that Russia was really my hot country, and I just wanted to share it, basically, to show how beautiful it is here. And all the Russians tell me very often that I don't understand anything because I live in Moscow, and the rest of the country is so much worse than Moscow. But actually, I traveled a lot. I went to Siberia several times. I went to Crimea by the train. A few months ago, I went to Gelendzhik by the train also. So I don't know. I feel here very safe. I was in France a few weeks ago. And there is such a huge difference of how, just the way I feel going to the metro. I can wear a dress. I know it will be completely safe even during the night. And that's a big difference. So I want to show that to the French, also to help them maybe realize that maybe there is a problem in the West and maybe we shouldn't imagine that we are the best in the world as we often do. Not only the French are guilty of that, the British also.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And maybe we should consider that there are things that we need to change or to check in our own countries.
Tell us a little about the channel. So you've got a Telegram channel. Have you had a YouTube channel?
YouTube is my main, actually.
Okay.
Yes, so it's mostly in French and a little bit in Russian, because I have a lot of Russian subscribers also. And on Telegram I speak in Russian, and it's to my Russian audience, because French people, they don't use Telegram at all.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And so YouTube is in French. And what sort of numbers, what sort of followers do you?
I have between 50 and 60K subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
Actually, Philip was talking about consistency. I'm really bad at that.
Right.
So I was working as an engineer and I didn't really have time for my blogging all the time. But there is this association that he talked about, Welcome to Russia, and they helped us a lot. As you could see, some parts of the video were organized Beautifil organized some trips to Galuga region, for example. We also did this Krisheni thing that maybe you saw in the video, where during the winter you're supposed to dip yourself in the cold water. I was really scared, but it was definitely worth it. Some of you.
No, we did a Christiania video with Luke, because Luke also had a YouTube channel. Is it still going?
Still there.
It's still there.
Mike and I did a video of swimming in a hole in the ice.
It was nice. It wasn't Christiania, but it was a forum, but we did the whole Morsch thing.
I was wondering if I was going to survive or not, because I was thinking maybe only the Russians can do it, but actually it was good.
It was good, and that's it. I mean, would you do it again?
Probably.
Probably. That's the amazing thing. Because most people say probably. Because both people were like shocked at the idea, but at the end of the day, they go, "Yeah, I probably would try it again."
The thing is that during the whole day we were in Istra, in the monastery, and there were like ambulances. How is it called?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Right.
Like turning around, and I was thinking like how many deaths they have every year, so that they need so many of those. So I was kind of scared that it was going to be me this year, but actually it was fine.
What sort of feedback do you get from your followers, from your fans? What sort of comments how do you communicate with them, or do you just do the videos and?
No, I do communicate with them. With the Russians, of course, it's very positive. Many of them are very surprised. They think I'm a little crazy for moving from France to Russia. But then I explain it, and after a few years, I'm starting to understand that Russians understand more and more why so many foreigners want to move to Russia. They start to get it, but it's taking a lot of time, especially when they don't live in Moscow. But from the French, it's very mixed. There are some French people who think that I'm completely right. They want to move to Russia. It's only because of the language that they cannot do it. But many of them are also pretty aggressive.
Yeah, the aggressive thing is really interesting. Do you get a lot of sort of surreal, weird? I sometimes help with the Anglican Church, and they do a streaming of their church services. So sometimes I volunteer just to sort of help, and I'm always shocked at the comments. They're quite aggressive.
Oh yes.
And they're mad.
Yes.
And do you get the same thing?
Well, sometimes they're very crazy because they compare a lot Russia nowadays to Nazi Germany, and that's to me completely crazy. They compare Putin to Hitler, and they told me at some point I received the comments that I should have my head shaved exactly that we did for the traitor women who were during Nazi Germany. So it goes really far, really. I get some very crazy comments.
Some really nasty stuff.
Yes, from the French. Yeah.
Right, that's interesting. And you get, but you presume you also get some positive stuff as well.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Actually, mostly from men. For some reason, not many women are interested in moving to Russia.
That's really interesting. And do you have a particular style or an approach of the way that you make films? I mean, I've seen this from the stuff that the piece that we just saw, the 60-second piece. You obviously travel a lot. You do a lot of interesting stuff. I mean, in that you've done Krishenia, there's some craft stuff. You were in that love heart thing in the middle of some beautiful part of Russia.
The Caucasus.
The Caucasus, right. So is there any particular approach that you have, or a stylistic signature?
No, it was really random, the way that I started, because as I'm an engineer, I just kind of figure out on the way. And sometimes it's because it's organized by some other organization, and then I just join along. For example, in the Caucasus, we had a trip, which was a blogger trip, so we were invited by an agency who filmed us, and the movies are going to be released soon. Sometimes it's with this association, with Maya Putin, where we film, everyone films what they want. They don't give us any, I don't know, incentives or anything, but they just show us cool places and cool people. And sometimes they just travel around and show whatever I happen to be doing. It's really random, but that's also what people like, exactly as Philip said, that they like this spontaneity.
Yeah.
How do you say that?